And then the hack for you would be to create, depending on what tool you're using, create either what's called a gem in Gemini or a project in Chat GPT or Claude. Okay. So has anyone talked about these during the launch? I'm sure they probably have, or Summit.
Not really. So I'm super
Oh
excited to
man.
hear you break this down.
So here's the thing. I'll show you the simple hack for like not having to reprompt as much. Surprisingly, most people aren't doing this. It still requires you though to be a bit of a prompt engineer. Like, if you're looking for a total out of the box, obviously, people like myself are building software that does that. But let me just show you the simple hack. So let's assume you've built these things out. Maybe you use AI or whatever, and maybe they don't match my frameworks to the same level, but let's say you create your voice, your buyer, and your offer. Those are foundational, right? I call those the foundation of your business, right? They are the foundational layer of your business that once you lock those in, the AI has a completely different amount of context that understands who you are, who you help, and how you help them, so that it'll write your emails better. It'll write your presentations better, all of those things. Now, in order to plug that context in, you can either create what's called a gem in Gemini and Google, or in ChatGPT, there are things called projects, right? You've probably heard of these, and I'm sure people have had to have talked about these. Okay. So a project is, let's just start with ChatGPT, is basically a smart folder. And for 90% of you listening to this out there, I assume you're maybe a beginner to intermediate AI person. If you just do this, what I'm talking about here, you will be ahead of 90% of people, because most people are just doing the whole 20-word prompt and expecting it to like work magic, right? That's most people. I love all of you, but most of you are expecting AI to work miracles. You wouldn't hire an intern and give them a 1-paragraph sticky note of instructions. Yet we expect AI, and it's smart, it's brilliant, but we expect AI to understand us that way. And it's impossible, right? So we need to be smarter in our use of it. So you want to create these layers of context. You can create what's called a project. Okay. So basically, you just click over here. I would get a $20 account. They all have $20 accounts. So Chat has a $20 plus account minimum. Gemini has a $20. Claude has a $20. Okay. It allows you to do more and have more memory. So you can just literally start a project over here and name it. So basically, a project is like a smart folder. Let me just open one of these. So every Friday, I send out what I call a value email to my list, right? And I give them a YouTube video. And it's like I have to do that every Friday. So for any project you do repetitively, like writing a newsletter or creating a script, or any projects you're doing ongoingly, like a launch, like I'm doing a launch in April for a new product, I create these smart folders for, okay? I use Gemini gems more. Chat, it's called a folder. Okay. So this is a folder in Chat that helps me write my Friday emails. Okay. And so what you can do is actually come in here to project and project settings, and you can give it custom instructions about what you want and how to do that and all that. You can also set up sources, basically like avoid these spam words in this email, write in John's brand voice, right in this template. Like, here's the value email structure that I want you to use every single time, right? And so you can create this level of context. Where was I in the other one? I think I left the other one. You can create the level of context I showed you earlier, create a doc for it, download it, and attach it to these as context to help give it some memory. Okay. Now, you still need to know what a good email is, what a good structure is. You need to know how to create. If you just upload a bunch of crappy emails or this big blob of emails, you're going to overwhelm the AI. A lot of people do that as a mistake. They just say, oh, I'm going to upload all of my podcasts and all of my this and that. And you know what AI does? It just guesses at half of the stuff. There are things called context windows that all AI models live by. Has anyone talked about context windows in your summit yet? So a context
No.
window is basically like how much information can an AI model keep in its mind while it's giving you an output, you know? So Gemini has a 1 million token context window. So it can do about 2,400 pages of context in its memory while it's writing something for you. ChatGPT has about last I knew, don't quote me on this, 126,000 token context window, something like that. So it is about like an eighth of the amount of context that it can hold in its brain compared to Gemini. Now, this may change tomorrow when they're all competing, right? This stuff changes every week, it seems like. But anyway, we can give it context so it holds that in mind, and then I can say, write me an email on this topic, or I can just take my YouTube video, because the transcript from that, dump it in here, say write me a video on this, and it'll write it in the perfect format in my voice. It'll avoid spam words, it'll do all that kind of stuff. And then I want to always review it and finalize it. Okay, so you can create a folder like this. Again, I believe you have to have a $20 account. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if you can do this in the free version. Everybody just get a $20 account. It'd be some of the best money you can spend on your business. But that's ChatGPT. Claude also has this ability. They also have a projects feature. And then Geminis are called gems, right? So here's my Gemini account. You can see on the side here, gems is over here. Maybe if you can see that, hopefully. So these you can just, kind of create all these different gems that write different things. So I have an email writing gem, a YouTube kit, what I call YouTube kit creation tool. So basically, this will help me write out the titles, the descriptions, all those kind of things for my YouTube videos that I publish once a week, most weeks, almost every week. And so if you go in here and look at this, you can see, you could name the gem, give it a description, give it custom instructions. Again, this is one place you can tell it what to do, right? Give it more context. And you can upload different knowledge documents as well, and it saves those into that tool. Okay, so this will allow you as a human to interact with AI more efficiently. For most people listening to this, like I personally am not a place where I'm just completely autonomously generating everything. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no involvement from me in things. I still feel like there's for coaches and consultants, the number one thing people buy is you, right? They buy you more than they buy what you do. And if you completely automate everything and you don't at least inject your voice into stuff and use AI as an accelerant, as an enhancement to you, but not a replacement of you, you're going to be in a better place. And so I'm a big fan of having the app on my phone. I don't type to AI. I always talk to it, right? So I have the app on my phone, and then I have the microphone on my computer, and I'll just, open up a gem or something like that. And then I'll just come in here. I can always add any files for reference, and then I can just, change it to pro model. And I have a little microphone here, and I just talk to it, right? I'm writing an email on this and this and this, refer to this documents.
If you want to watch the entire episode, click here. And if you want to watch more episodes like this, click here.